you're new. If you are new here, I'll give you the spiel really quickly. My name is Danny, I'm 24 years old, living in New York City, and this is my first official vlog of 2023, and I'm so happy that you're here. I cannot believe that 2022 is already over. It honestly feels very strange, and it was a really great year for me. I'll end up doing more reflecting later on in this vlog, as I normally do, but I have quite a few things that I like to do in the very beginning of every year in order to feel like I'm putting my best foot forward and getting everything started on a really high note. So I figured we could do it together, and hopefully this will give you guys some inspiration, and of course this will include me creating my yearly vision board, which is my favorite tradition that I've created for myself, and I love to share it with you guys. Today is January 3rd. It is absolutely disgusting outside. I mean, pouring down rain, and it will be like this for the next few days, which isn't ideal, but also isn't the worst thing in the world, because a lot of the things that I do have to get done in these next few days involve me either writing in a notebook or being on my computer, so I don't necessarily need to be outside, but we are kicking off this day with a facial. So I will have to leave my apartment because I'm heading over to Heyday Spa. I set an alarm on my phone to leave at 11:30, but that was if I was walking down to the spa, and that's not gonna happen. So I do have a little bit of extra time, which means I'm gonna make myself a coffee and sit and relax before I go and sit and relax in a different location. I didn't get to show you guys before I went in for my facial, but this is Lafayette Bakery, one of the most popular bakeries in New York right now, and the line is typically wrapped around the building. Now it's definitely calmed down, but before, when I got here, it was all the way down the block. I mean, Danny, why don't you vlog on the street? Because you wouldn't be able to fucking hear me if I did. That facial was unbelievable. I mean, it helps that my esthetician was just so knowledgeable and just so gentle with my skin, but the entire place is so cute. It's not a stuffy spa at all. It's like very hip, I guess is a word that you could use for it. I just loved every second of it. Amazing. My skin feels phenomenal. Like, I'm not just saying this because I was working with them on Instagram. They're not working with me on YouTube, so really I could say whatever I want, but that was such an amazing experience. I cannot wait to go back. If you guys are living in New York, or they definitely have other locations, but if you guys are in New York, I definitely recommend the NoHo location. Everyone who worked there was so nice, and I actually have a code. If you guys want 30% off your facial, you can use the code daniellej30, and then you get $30 off. So I'll have a link down below, but my skin is just feeling so good, so I definitely will not be touching it or putting anything on it for the next foreseeable future. But I am gonna run back out because I have some work to do. I need to edit the content that I took today for this brand deal that I'll send in to them probably tomorrow, and then I also have to finish editing a video that is going up tomorrow. So let's pack up our stuff. Are we even surprised that I started crying in the middle of a coffee shop editing my video? No, I certainly wasn't surprised, but still, I was like, probably not something I should be doing in public. That video went up this morning at 11:11, of course, and you guys seem to be loving it. I am a really big believer that the first video that I put up in every year needs to be an accurate reflection of the work that I want to do throughout the entirety of the year. So I always put my heart and soul, as I do with most of my content, but I always just pour a lot into that first video of the year to make sure that I feel super proud of it, regardless of how many views it gets. And when I was rewatching it back, it just made me really happy. I love creating content that makes people feel things, and those things aren't always like feeling sentimental or feeling sad by any means. If anything, I just like to aim to make people feel happy or confident or whatever the case may be. And when I was rewatching that video, I felt like I achieved that. So that was a really good feeling. And now, obviously, we're just continuing on this momentum and filming this video. Update 24 hours post facial. My makeup hasn't applied this flawlessly in such a long time. If ever, you could just tell that I had a really good skincare base, and that's not something I can say for most days because my skincare is pretty minimal. But they were really nice, and they gave me a $200 gift card to spend on skincare from the Heyday website. So I have a big package coming, and hopefully I'll just be able to emulate a little bit of what they did during that facial, but really I'm just gonna have to go back because it was pretty special. Some of the brands that I've gotten PR from recently have been actually blowing my mind. First of which is Jose Cuervo, who I worked with last year and hope to work with again this year because that was like one of the greatest experiences ever. I also got PR from Grande Lash, which is a product I've been using for like the past 2 years. Not religiously enough because my eyelashes aren't that long, but we're gonna work on it this year. And the last one, most recently, is a brand called Papier, which I don't actually, first of all, don't even know if that's how you pronounce it, but I have been a fan of their products for a while. They basically sell really cute stationery and notebooks and planners and all of that kind of stuff. So for the top of the new year, they sent me a little gift, and it's even personalized. It's very, very cute. It has my initials down at the bottom, but this is essentially a 2023 diary is what they call it. So it can act as a reflection journal, but then also a planner, a little bit of everything. So I figure I should fill this out today. I'm not a big like an advanced planner. I almost wish that I was, but maybe this year. I feel like that's a pretty good goal. So basically in here what they have is full calendar spreads for every single month in 2023. And then they also have monthly goals, to-do list, important dates, and wish list sections for each month of 2023. And then as you continue going back, they have individual planning days for every day. I love the structure of this so much because I find that sometimes it's hard to find a notebook that has spaces for all of these things. It's usually you have to buy different notebooks for different purposes, but this really does cover all of the bases. And in the back you just have free scrap paper. I'm really just confused because on camera it looks like there's a stain on the sweatshirt, but in person you can't see anything. So I'm just gonna wear it. As I was filming that clip, I realized that my nails look heinous, and I remembered that the last time I was in my nail salon, they gave me a $10 off voucher for the holidays, and it was applicable for use starting yesterday. So I'm gonna go get a manicure, and it'll be a nice little treat myself, and this will be my first manicure of 2023. Everything is like the first of the year or the last of the year. I love it. Any of these layers. I just got what's technically a gel manicure for $6 because I always use the SE gel polishes, the ones that come in kind of like the swivelly bottle rather than the square bottle. These nail polishes last me like 2 weeks. Not chipping, just like fully growing out for like 2 weeks until I have to get another manicure, and I only had to pay $6 for it. Huge win. It's always this point in the night where I'm sick and tired of overhead lights, and that's when this sunset lamp really comes in handy. This is definitely the best purchase I've made for my shoebox of a room. It makes the space feel a lot more purposeful, at least in my eyes, and a lot more relaxing when I'm just getting ready to wind down. So I still have a little bit of work that I have to finish up, but once I do that, I want to dedicate the rest of my night to making a yummy dinner and also creating my vision board for 2023. You guys know, if you've been watching my videos for a few years, that this is something I do at the top of every single year. I create a vision board that accurately embodies everything that I want to achieve in the coming year, and I make it my phone background, and I keep it like that all year. full 365 days and then some until I make the next one. I'm gonna put a picture of my 2022 vision board on the screen right now so you guys can reference it. But one thing I always like to do before I create a new one is look back on my old one and figure out what I was able to accomplish. So the first thing that automatically stands out to me is on the bottom left-hand corner, I put the Revolve logo because my #1 YouTube goal for last year was to work with Revolve in any capacity, whether it was Instagram or YouTube. I literally did not care. I just wanted to be on their radar. And in May of 2022, I got an email from Revolve saying that they wanted to work with me, which was obviously the biggest deal. And I'm still so appreciative for that. And it's a partnership that I still have going on with them, which is just the craziest thing ever. There was also a lot of travel photos on last year's vision board, one of which was pictures of Costa Rica because I really wanted to go there, and I did in January of last year with my family. And then I also wanted to go back to Europe. In the beginning of last year, I didn't even see that on the horizon because I was like, I just don't know how I'm gonna go to Europe, but I ended up booking a trip with my best friend Amanda, and we went to London, Paris, and Rome. And it was honestly the first big trip that I paid for completely out of pocket, which is an accomplishment in and of itself, but those 2 trips were absolutely unbelievable, and they were both on my vision board. A lot of the pictures on here also embody the relationships in my life, both romantic and platonic. One of the biggest goals that I had for myself last year was to strengthen the relationships with the female friendships in my life. I'm so lucky that a lot of the friends I have are friends that I've had for years and years and years, and there's a really solid foundation underneath those friendships. But after moving to the city, I was lucky enough to meet a lot of new people, and I wanted to be able to dedicate a lot of time to those friendships as well, because I just think it's really important to have a strong support system, especially in your 20s when you're living in a new city. And I can definitely say that I did that as well, which just is probably one of the most fulfilling things that I accomplished in this past year. And circling back to YouTube, because this is just like, I still can't believe that this happened, to be honest. In the beginning of last year, one of my biggest goals was just to get invited to one brand event. I've been doing YouTube for 10 years, and in those 10 years, I've never been invited to an event, which is bonkers. And not only was I invited to one, but I was invited to a lot. Like, a lot by my standards, not by anybody else's standards, but that doesn't matter. I was able to go to 2 music festivals, work with household brand names like Jose Cuervo, and I can't believe it. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. But looking at this and reflecting on everything I was able to accomplish in this past year makes me feel really good, because there's a lot of time that passes, and sometimes you forget about the positive, and it's nice to just be able to look back and be proud of yourself. So now that I've done that, I have also created my list of goals for 2023, and those I'm gonna keep to myself for at least right now. And I'm then gonna go on Pinterest and look for photos that accurately represent all of those goals and put them together. I just created a vision board that's gonna help me manifest the best 2023 possible, and now I just need to show how I did it with you guys. So if you guys have watched the vlogs that I've made previously showing you how I make my vision board, you know that typically how I'll do it is after pulling all of my pictures from Pinterest and creating my list of goals, I'll open up a Google Slides and kind of just copy paste photos in there. And doing that definitely works, and it's worked for me every single year. But recently I discovered an app that I think is an extension from Pinterest, if I remember correctly, and it's called Shuffles. This app is unbelievable. This is all gonna sound like an ad, and I promise you it is not. I'm just like kind of mind blown at how easy they made making a vision board. So I definitely recommend that you guys use this in order to create any vision board or mood board that you wanna make going forward. This app is so cool. Basically, it gives you a blank canvas and allows you to pull in photos either from your camera roll or directly from Pinterest. And when you're pulling in photos from Pinterest, you can either do so from searching the entire database and all the photos backgrounds that's on the platform as is, or you can pull from your specific boards, which makes it so easy, especially because I told you guys I went and pulled my own photos and put them all in a board called 2023. So I was literally able to drag and drop from there. Honestly, it's super fun because not only are you able to like drag and drop the photos, but you can also make the photos have a transparent background or cut out certain aspects of the photo. It kind of just makes it look a little bit more collage-y and less copy-paste-y. I'm not gonna lie, it took me a lot longer to create my vision board this year than it has in previous years. One, because I'm a major perfectionist and I wanted it to look good, and two, because I was kind of just getting the hang of using the app. But I really like how you can, one, bring in all the photos that you want, but then also kind of spice it up with different little graphics that they have available to you. It's just so cute. So like I said, it definitely took me a little bit, but this is the final result. I am so obsessed with how this year's vision board came out. Honestly, I think it's my favorite that I've ever done, and I'm already feeling so beyond inspired. I think doing it this way allowed me to also include a lot more photos than I normally do, which is kind of just allowing me more opportunities to focus on specific goals and manifest more and more amazing things into my life. And this is, obviously it's not magic. Like, I think that goes without saying. Creating these boards doesn't just magically make these things happen in your life, but having the constant reminder in front of you that there are so many amazing things that you want to accomplish during this year is really beneficial. And just having a visual helps you make that visual come to life. So that's just my 2 cents. If you're not into it, that's totally fine, but I'm so proud of this year's one. And if you guys decide to make a vision board, please send it to me on Instagram. I would love to see it.